Take 3. All right, Mark, let's kick off season 4. Buckle up. This is Musicians and Beyond with Sarabian and Lawhorn, where we bring you the backstage info on
The sign says Lawhorn and Sarabian.
Take 27. All right, Mark, let's kick off season 4. Buckle up. This is Musicians and Beyond with Lawhorn and Sarabian, where we bring you the backstage info on the life, the lyrics, and the long journeys of the music industry. Mark, what's going on? Happy 2025 to you.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you as well. Happy to be back here in the studio and happy to have put all that holiday crap in the past.
Yeah, it was got to be a lot, that's for sure. Last episode, we had the real Curious G, young kid doing awesome stuff. Tell us about him.
13-year-old Winchester native rap artist. He is got his first 2 songs released. We got to hear those the other day, and he's on his way. We'll see what happens, but we're going to follow along and watch his journey.
Yeah, he's doing a great job. And today we have a fantastic duo. We have Elisa Smith and Erin Bonnie.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello there. Welcome. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's great. You guys, we heard you guys practicing earlier. We can't wait for you guys to, play some songs for us and get out to the masses.
Yeah, I have to say the sound check was absolutely fantastic. Now that that's over, looking forward to the songs. And if you've been following along, some of the musicians we've had in here are pretty good. These 2, way off the charts, up above.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank you.
You definitely are. So how did you guys get together?
So many years ago, I had a friend who was a drummer, and I wanted to start a country band. And he was like, yeah, we should totally do it, thinking that I was joking. And I was not. I was very much not joking. I was very serious. And so I was like, no, like I seriously want to put together a country band. This was before country kind of was having a resurgence in Boston. There weren't a lot of country acts around Boston yet at the time. And so he was like, oh, I guess, well, if you're serious, then I guess we should have a rehearsal. I have a friend who plays the fiddle. Do you want me to introduce you to her? And the moment that we met, it was just like, it was just 2 peas in a pod. So he is no longer with the band. He lasted maybe all of like 3 months because, again, he thought that I was joking. But I was very serious. And so...
Drummers.
drummers.
Right.
I don't know how many drummers we've been through.
I can't count that.
But yeah, so we've been playing together for, I don't even know, about like 10 years almost. And she, a lot of musicians have come and gone throughout our band, but we have always remained constant in playing together, which is great.
Well, thank God you have, because the harmonies, the way you guys work together is spectacular. It really is a beautiful thing.
Thanks.
Thank you.
It meshes very well. You guys go out and play a lot of duos, but you also have a full band. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, so the full band, we have, drummer, guitar player, electric guitar, bassist. When it's a full band, it's a lot more kind of country rock and roll. I grew up listening to my dad play all sorts of classic rock. I think the earliest concerts I went to was like Crosby, Stills and Nash and Santana, and really, really loved that just kind of 70s rock and roll sound. So I kind of imbue that in my music when I'm playing with a full band. It's a blast. And every once in a while we'll have a banjo or, a guest appearance, which is always really fun.
Yeah.
You really have that toe tapping, boot stomping country feel to you, and you bring that to the table, and it's obvious. We've had a bunch of country artists in, and you definitely stick to the traditional country side. It appears to me, it sounds like that. I love it. I think it's the best part of country, so.
Thanks, same.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I mean, same. So, I was listening to that stuff from my dad, but then my grandmother really, really loved Nashville, and 'cause I grew up in Illinois, so I was not that far away from Nashville. And, my grandmother would always play old vintage country. I mean, before the Loretta Lynn stuff, she'd play the Carter Family and Lula Bell and Scotty, and those were some of her favorites. And so I grew up, kind of enmeshed in, my dad playing classic rock, my grandmother playing all this like really old country, and then I found out many years later that my mom would sing lullabies to me all the time, and it's funny, I'm one of 4 daughters, and she prides herself on, like, well, I sang to you the most. That's why I maintain that you're a musician, because I sang to you the most. But she would sing me lullabies, and she would sing me, like, Woody Guthrie. So everything that I had kind of coming at me from a really early age was, like, rock and roll, folk, country. So now it's kind of joined into this melting pot that is Elisa Smith, which is a lot of fun. I just have meshed all of my favorite things about music together.
You brought it up, so I'm going to ask. You have a real deep connection to your grandmother, a real, sentimental connection.
Yeah.
And you honor her with, I think, one of your shirts has a little something about.
You did your research.
Well,
that was like a limited run T-shirt. Yeah,
I liked
so,
it.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
fine. If I had any more, I would send you one, but I think they're all gone. So
Thanks.
she was hilarious. Man, she was so funny. She was really, really feisty and just this hilarious woman. And so when she passed, my sisters and my mom and I were all kind of together talking about funny things that she would say. Like one of her sayings was, this is very dated, so I apologize, but she said, women should always have a little extra spending cash because you don't need your husband to know when you need to buy a girdle. Just like funny things like that. But one of them was, it's good to be honest, but sometimes mostly is good enough. And so she would say that all the time. And it got me to thinking about, like, what would that sound like as a country song? And so I wrote a song called A Little Lie, which is all about, it's a classic country kind of romp where, the husband cheats and the woman kills him with rat poison. And she's like, well, it's good to be honest, but sometimes mostly good enough. I didn't really kill him, really. Like, so I think I released that song. I can't remember. But we did record it. But yeah, so that's where that T-shirt came from, was her. And then on my full-length album, I have a song called Nashville Angel, and that's all about her.
Okay.
We'd sit at your kitchen table playing cards, and you'd slowly stand and put a record on, and you'd tap your toes and sing along when you'd hear your favorite song. Tell me stories of the rhyming and the stars you'd seen long gone. You lit a fire in my heart to see my name in the stars. And I feel your hand on my shoulder every time I step in those lines. And I see the smile on your face when I sing. And I know you walk beside me, guide me through my darkest night. 'Cause you're my Nashville angel. All I've left of you are these records you played for me, and the necklace that you wore to the Grand Ole Opry, and a faded, worn-out picture marked with stains from my tears, and your whisper in my ear that one day I'll make it here. And I feel your hand guide me through my darkest night. 'Cause you're my Nashville angel. You're my Nashville angel.
And that's all about her.
Okay, that's great.
So Eliza, you talk about your albums. How do people find you and download your music and
Yeah.
buy your albums? How do they do that?
And
Yeah.
your shirts, your
And my
swag.
shirts, yeah. So the best way to do that is on my website, because if you really want to support local artists, always order directly from them, either their digital albums or their physical albums if people listen to CDs anymore. But that's at www.elisasmithmusic.com, and that's Eliza with an S, not a Z, because my parents are strange.
That's apparent.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the best way to do it. If you just want to stream my stuff, I'm available everywhere you listen to music. So whether that's Spotify or Apple Music or Deezer or Bandcamp, wherever.
Erin, tell us about you. How did you become Erin?
How did I become Erin?
man.
Wow.
How long do you have?
This
yeah,
sounds like the conversation
exactly.
we had right before this we recorded, right?
How do you know when you know?
Well, I moved to Boston to go to Berklee College of Music. I'm from Montana originally, and my dad plays a lot of bluegrass music. So I grew up playing fiddle and a lot of bluegrass, a lot of old time, a lot of country music. Yeah, and so I had graduated, and I was just kind of hanging out, and I was sort of like lost and didn't know what I was doing, and getting married and working as a barista, and she started a band like she told you, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, this is the best thing ever. Yeah, and yeah, I've just grown so much as a person and a musician since playing with Eliza, and it's been really good for me. And
I think you just might have titled one of your next songs, She Started a Band. I think that sounds
Yeah,
like
there
a
you go.
great
Started
title.
a band.
There you go. Well, this one is a way better songwriter than I could ever be. She has her own
Stop.
whole other thing. Like she's got a ton of music on her own, and you're working on a whole big, huge like compendium
Big
of like
project.
35 songs,
Yeah.
and she
Oh,
teaches
tell us.
songwriting at
Yeah,
Berklee.
how do we find out about that?
Well, my Instagram handle is at Erin Bonnie Music. You can find me there, Erin Bonnie, on all the streaming platforms. Yeah, my most recent single came out on my birthday in October. It's called Roger. I produced it myself. I mixed it myself. I did all the engineering. And I'm really proud of that.
She's legit.
So, yeah, and then I'm in the planning stages of my next full length, which is going to be called Americana Hussy. It's going to be 5 different acts. Each is sort of like subgenre of Americana that makes up the Americana experience.
Incredible.
So when you write your songs for the duo, you both collaborate and
No.
do it? No?
We're actually
She
really-
does it
We're
in-
really bad at writing together.
Yeah.
Really?
So,
Okay.
yeah, so
That's a lesson
this
learned,
is
it sounds
interesting.
like.
This is
it was
interesting.
awful. Like we were, it was awful. The first time we've been playing together for like 10 years. The first time we ever tried to co-write was about a year ago. And, we both really like to drink whiskey, so we like got a really nice bottle of whiskey and we sat down and we were like, this is gonna be great, because like she's a great songwriter, I'm a great songwriter, like this is gonna be great. It was awful. It was like one of the worst co-writes I think I've ever had in my life. And I think that you would probably agree.
I agree. I agree. It was terrible.
And to survive
left
that
and
and
I
do
was
this
like,
is pretty cool.
What happened?
It was bad.
What was that? At least we
was
got
bad.
to drink some good whiskey.
Yeah, right, yeah. But no, so the songs that we play as a duo, me and her, are my songs.
Yeah.
We should play some of your songs. I just can't do them like you do. I don't have the same swagger that you do.
It's because I'm ridiculous. Oh, we are collaborating. Our first real, true, writing collab is the reimagined I'll Come Home a Drinkin'.
That's true. That is true. So we did it was like co-writing with like Training Wheels. So we took a Loretta Lynn song called Don't Come Home a Drinkin', which is all about that. It's like, I am home and you go out with your friends and you come home and you're drunk and you want some lovin'. Like, don't
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm uninterested.
Yeah. So that's what Lynn's song is about. And so we took that song and kind of did our own treatment with it, where we say, I'll come home a drinking, which is like, I go out with my friends and I get drunk and I come home and I want some loving because I don't want these other idiots that are out at bars. I want you because you're my man. But I might be a little tipsy when I get home. So that's what
Oh,
we've
that's
done.
okay, baby.
Yeah. So that's being mixed right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's being mixed by the guy that does all my mixing down in Nashville, and hopefully we'll be releasing that probably in like the spring. I don't know, probably the spring. We should do some like fun like photo shoots for
Love
it.
to.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
please.
exciting.
Yeah.
Do you go back and forth to Nashville? You have a studio down there that you work with. Who do you work with when you're up here, and how's that go?
I pretty much. Sorry, that was a funny probably a funny
Very
voice for the
close.
microphone.
Back to the bloopers.
Yeah, sorry. I do all of my recording in Nashville. So I work with a guy named Caleb Gilbreath, who is another Berkeley grad, super talented, really sweet person and great human. And so whenever I record, I go down there. But I do, I do, like, I'm a work for hire too. Like I do some backlining vocals and lead vocals for other songwriters around the area. So I work with a lot of producers around the area. You do all your stuff though here.
Yeah, I've worked with Dimension Sound Studios in JP. I did my full length there. My first EP was a DIY project with a bass player who lives around town. His name is Blaine
Wait,
Crawford. Really? Yeah, Blaine produced
I didn't know that.
Ain't Enough Bourbon.
He did?
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah. And then
It's a good thing we brought you two together.
I know.
I know.
And I did a couple singles with Sean.
Sean McLaughlin
Yeah, Sean McLaughlin out in Rockland.
in 37 foot.
37-foot studios.
I'm going there tomorrow.
Yeah. But I've sort of been on a journey of professional growth, and I've been producing now for the last 2 years. And
Okay.
my last 3 songs that I released, I've produced myself. And
Very impressive.
yeah.
Good stuff.
Given the way the writing went between you, I wouldn't recommend hiring her to help produce anything. Stick to performing.
Yeah. I mean, so I work
I
with...
won't put in a bid.
I couldn't afford her. I
I don't work for free.
Yeah, it's so they're like at the risk of being like I produce too. Like so with Caleb, I think one of the reasons why I love working with Caleb in Nashville so much is because it is a joint effort. So he and I think that's why I keep going back to him, is because we really understand each other, and he knows what I'm after, and I can, when I'm in the studio, I can, not for so much for other musicians, I give them a lot of leeway, but for myself, I can be a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to my vocals. And so he really helps me to kind of just get over that and just kind of capture what it is. So like, for example, that song that I wrote about my grandmother, Nashville Angel, we did that in 1.5 takes because it was just very emotional and I couldn't really get through it.
We haven't even got that out of you here today.
Being emotional?
No, 1.5 takes.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so I think, like, producing, it's such an intimate thing. And so, like, I think as an artist, finding a producer where it's really like a co-producing kind of thing, where you feel comfortable and empowered to share your vision, and that you trust that person is also going to see your vision. And I think it's took a long journey for me to get to that point where I feel empowered to say what I want. But yeah, we're all on a journey. I don't know, I'm rambling.
I feel like, I don't know, especially as women, when you're first going into the studio, like it's really hard to learn how to speak up for yourself. You're the artist, you're the writer, you're the visionary, but then like you're working with these people who have so many credits, and like, I think you just have to learn to have confidence, right? And to speak up and
Yeah, it's
and
really easy to be like, oh, well, maybe they do know better. Maybe I don't know what my vision is, and maybe I don't know what this song needs. When in actuality, like, yes, you do. You wrote it. You hear it in your head. You know
You're there for a
exactly.
reason.
You're there for a reason, right? So I think, having the power to be like, no, this is what I want. Like, everybody shut up and do what I say. I think it's really important. And so I think again, going back to Caleb, one of the reasons why I love working with Caleb is because he's very much like, okay, yep, sounds good. You know, but if I'm like totally off base, he'll be like, well, maybe we should try it this way. So it's a really good working relationship that we have.
Awesome. So let's hear The Hard Way.
Sure.
All right.
1, 2, 3, 4.
My mama never told me to learn from my mistakes, and my daddy never taught me how to weed out a snake. So I gave up my loving to just one man, and I should known I'd be alone before long. I learned the hard way. When it comes to heartbreak, there ain't no easy way. And I've never been so sweet or so tame. So we're gonna do this the hard way. He'd flirt with all my friends when they came around, and I'd catch him in town doing that old up and down. Well, he broke my heart when he broke his vow. Now he's run off with another one and I'm done. I learned the hard way. Yes, I did. Yes, I did. When it comes to heartbreak, there ain't no easy way. And I've never been so sweet or so tame. So we had to do this the hard way. I burned all his clothes in his favorite chair. I stole his '68 Mustang and I dyed my hair. And I headed way down south to Mexico, 'cause I run off with his bank account and he's out. He learned the hard way. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. When it comes to heartbreak, there ain't no easy way. And I've never been so sweet or so tame. So we had to do this the hard way. Yeah, we had to do this the hard way. Don't you know I love the hard way?
All right. That was The Hard Way. Awesome. Tell us about that song.
Yeah, so, God, I don't even remember. I wrote that song actually a long time ago.
We've been playing it for a long time.
I know, that's
And
kinda-
it still hasn't made it on a record, but
It's going to go on the next one.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, it'll go on the next one. Because I'm also working on writing my full-length record. My next one. So, I don't actually remember the inspiration for that song. That's how long ago I wrote it. But I think, you know, this song has certainly been on a journey, especially with a full band, which I'm really excited to hear what the players in Nashville do with it, because it's taken on a lot of different feels. Like, we either, like, when we play it pretty up-tempo and kind of this, like, bluegrassy kind of thing, kind of like what we just did. But, you know, we've also done it really, really swampy and, like, really behind the beat and real bluesy. And so I don't think, you know, for as long as that song has been around, I still don't think that it's necessarily found its legs yet and found what it is, at least within a full band setting. So it'll be cool to see what happens to it when Caleb and the Nashville folks get their hands on it. But because I'm open to suggestions with that one.
Well, I'll tell you, however it's going to sound then, it's going to be hard to beat that.
Oh,
Because that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Thanks.
thanks. Maybe we'll do like another release, or it's just a duo release.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
that would be fun.
But yeah, I think we love playing it because it's just fun. It's a fun story, and it's a fun song to play. And vocally, it's like, it just sits right where I love to be. And so, yeah.
Harmonies are fun.
Yeah. Fiddle sounds great. But yeah, I wish I had more to tell you about the inspiration, but I don't remember.
That's okay.
It does make for great stage banter, though, when we're doing a live show, because you're always like, now, who here learns things the easy way?
Yeah.
Who here learns things the hard way?
Yeah.
And I'm
And
always like, I do.
I know. I always say,
Most
like, I
hands
learned
go up
things.
then?
Well, no, I
No.
mean, it's usually like a split. And I always say, like, well, I learned things the hard way,
Well,
which isn't necessarily
Those
true.
people are lying to themselves. No doubt.
They're just
No
not
doubt about it.
self-actualized.
Yeah. Sometimes I just don't learn.
Wait, we're supposed to learn things? I'm sorry.
What?
It is a journey.
It is a journey.
I have to ask you, your guitar. It looks like it's weathered and worn, but there's a incredible story that goes along with that guitar.
Yeah.
Can you tell the
Yeah,
listeners
sure.
and viewers?
Sure. So I was a student at Harvard. I was getting my master's degree in education because, the kids, the children, you gotta worry about the children. And so when I was there, Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood came to give a talk about their work in the music industry. And I was kind of like, well, I don't know if I want to go, and maybe I guess I'll go. And at the time, I wasn't performing or playing at all, just because I just had kind of fallen off of it. And I also really struggled from stage fright. So my stage fright really had kept me from getting on stage and doing the thing that I love to do the most. And so during the talk, he mentioned, like, well, I get really bad stage fright, and I just really get out on stage and I play a couple chords, and then I remember how much I love doing this, and then I can do it. And so after the talk was over, there's a Q&A portion, and so I raised my hand, and I was like, hey, I really love to play, but I get really bad stage fright. I mean, it was bad. I would shake and forget all of my words, and if I messed up once, I just turned into this crumbling little heap. And so I was like, I really love to play, but I get really bad stage fright. How do you get over your stage fright? And so he asked me, he was like, well, what's your name? So I told him my name, and he said, what do you play? And I said, well, I play guitar and I sing. And he's like, what kind of music do you play? And I say, well, I play country music. And everybody kind of giggled because he got this little face that was like, mm-hmm. And so he said, well, this is what we call being baptized by fire. Get on up here and play us a song. So he invited me up on stage in front of 400 people in Asquith Hall at Harvard to play a song. And, at that point I hadn't been playing for 6 years. So it was not great, but I got through it. And
Talk about intimidating.
yeah, right. And so he gave me this guitar to play the song. And so I played it, and it was funny. He went and sat where I was sitting next to my friends. And so my friends were like, oh my God. But so I played it, and then he was just so nice and so genuine. So after the talk was over, he hung out for an hour and a half while people wanted his autograph and wanted to talk to him. And so I kind of waited for the room to clear out. And I went up to him after everybody had left, and I said, I don't need anything from you. I don't need your autograph. I just want to say thank you, because I think that you've really changed my life, and I feel like I can do the thing that I have really wanted to do. And so he was like, well, I got something for you. And I was like, oh. And so he gave me a guitar pick out of his pocket, and he was like, this is for you. And I was like, oh, thanks. This is such a lovely memento. I'll cherish it forever. And then he was like, well, you're going to need something to play it with. And I was like, what? And so he takes this guitar out from behind him, and he's like, this is for you. And I was like, I can't take this. And Trisha was like, you have to, honey. And I was like, okay. And so,
Okay.
so he gave me this guitar, and that's the guitar that I record with. It's the guitar that I play with. And I've always known him. We've kept in touch over the years, and I've always known him to just be a very genuine and very kind human. We actually just emailed back and forth a couple weeks ago. But yeah, so it really, really changed my life, and I would not be here with you today if he hadn't done that for me. So I'm eternally grateful to him.
What a story.
Yeah,
You can't make that
and
shit
that,
up.
my friends, is one hell of a story. Well, that's
Awesome.
pretty.
So it was definitely a turning point in your life.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I had always loved music. I had, my earliest memories are taking all of my stuffed animals and piling them into my dad's guitar case and just listening to him play guitar for hours. And I was constantly singing, and I got my start playing at church with my dad and a whole band at church. And, and then something just kind of clicked where I think all musicians kind of have to go through that thing where, like, am I good enough? Like, if I mess up, does that mean that I'm a terrible musician? And where is my place? You know, I think everybody has to work through that, and everybody works through that in different ways. Hopefully, hopefully it doesn't take everybody meeting Garth Brooks to to get over that. But
if you didn't meet Garth Brooks, do you think you would have pursued music?
no, I don't, which
Wow.
is heartbreaking to think, because I love it so very much.
You can tell. I mean, you're passionate, and
Yeah.
I mean, together you guys are awesome.
Yeah.
I got to ask, if it's so important, why the hell did you break it?
Well, so Garth Brooks, in all of his infinite wisdom, when he designed this guitar, decided to not put a pick guard on it, and
And that's the result?
yeah, and the top wood is very soft, and I am a very hard player, so yeah. My
Well,
dad
if
is so funny.
if it didn't look like it does, I wouldn't have asked the question.
Yeah,
So we
right,
got the
so-
story out of it.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's so funny. Like, I'll take it out at gigs, and people will be like, "Did you do that?" And I'm like, "Who? Yes. Who else would have done it?" Like, yes, I did. I know I'm a little lady, but I can play it pretty hard.
That's awesome.
That is awesome. It's hard to top that story. Can you?
I can't top that story, no.
you can't?
You go.
6 degrees of separation. If Eliza had met Garth Brooks,
That's true.
I would not have met Eliza.
That's true.
And I, too, would not have been here today.
And if that hadn't happened, we would not hear your next song, Made to Break.
That's right.
Correct.
That was
Just
a
like
great-
that guitar.
That was a great segue, Mark. Let's
That's what
listen.
I've been working on.
Let's check it out. Made to Break.
1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I guess I'm keen on falling in love. Just one look, and you know I get that feeling. So we'll dance, we'll kiss. He'll tell me that I'm his, but it always ends with him leaving. So tell me, have you ever seen a woman so blue, so lonely, so hurt, so bruised? I'm keen on love, but I love that heartache, and my heart was made to break. This heart, this poor little heart has seen a lot of men pass through. This heart, this poor little heart is breaking, babe, for you. So go on, get lost, and leave me to my drinking. You don't care about me, and I bet you never did. I got all the boys I'll ever be needing. One is Jack, and the other's named Jim. So darling, don't you let my tears trouble you, 'cause I ain't lonely, I ain't hurt, and I ain't bruised. I'm keen on love, 'cause I love that heartache, and my heart was made to break. This heart, this poor little heart has seen a lot of men pass through. This heart, this poor little heart is breaking, babe, for you. This heart, this poor little heart has seen a lot of men pass through. This heart, this poor little heart is breaking, babe, for you. It's breaking, babe, for you. It's breaking, babe, for you.
All right. Wow.
Another one.
Yeah.
Very impressive. Very
Well, thank you.
impressive.
We try.
Well, thank you.
So that was another song that you had written. Okay. Was there a backstory to that?
Yeah, so I think,
I thought it was about the guitar.
no, ha ha ha. No, so I think it's so funny. So I've been happily married for a very long time, for 13 years. And so a lot of my songs that I write, I take the emotion of what I'm feeling maybe with different things that are happening in my life, but I tell different stories, right? So, and this is kind of one of those songs where, like I've been married for 13 years, but I'm still singing this song about made to break, and my heart's made to break, and I've been through all these men, and blah, 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 blah.
It's kind of like acting.
It is a
right?
little, right? So it's like, there are some songs that I write that are autobiographical, but the bulk of my catalog is not. It's, the emotion is still very much the same emotion that's behind it, but it's telling someone else's story.
Interesting.
And so the other way that I think about my songwriting too is kind of a study in songwriters that I admire. And so Loretta Lynn, I think, is one of those songwriters that I just really, really respect for so many, many, many reasons. And so this song is kind of a study in the way that she would write her songs. So kind of this idea of, female empowerment, where she's like, my heart was made to break. I love falling in love, but that's because I love falling out of love and feeling sad, and I like drinking whiskey, and I like doing all these things that you get to do when you have your heart broken, right? So it's like she's making the choice to have her heart broken. But not only that, not lyrically, but also just harmonically, the song is very much in keeping with kind of how Loretta would choose her chords and her chord cadences, with the exception of the 6 minor. But yeah, so I think, that like those two things of kind of feeling this emotion, feeling this like kind of playful, romping kind of emotion, and then mixing that with a study of how would Loretta Lynn sing about this, is kind of where that song came from.
You mentioned Loretta a few times, and have you ever heard Chevelle Shepherd sing "Looking for Loretta"?
No, I haven't.
Check it out sometime. I don't know if you know who Chevelle is. She finished, I forget, a 15, 16-year-old kid was on either The Voice or one of the shows, and that's one of her songs she released after that, and it's a great song, and I think you'll find something very similar
Yeah.
to your songs in it.
Yeah, thank you.
That's
Thank
pretty
you for
cool.
the tip. I'll have to check it out.
Check it out. So, Erin, when you write songs, where do you write from? Are they real-life experiences?
I make up all kinds of shit.
Okay. That's
I'm
fair to
actually
say.
doing a song a day challenge right now.
It's very good.
No kidding.
Yeah,
It's very good.
yeah, check it out on my Instagram if you want. But like, day number 1, I wrote a silly little, just like hand clapping rhythm song about what my son eats. Day 2 was like a bluesy sort of like mantra thing about. It's called "Tear My Body Down," so it's just about like not tearing yourself down or being critical. And then day
What day was Donut Daddy?
Donut Daddy was day 5.
That's my favorite one.
That sounds
You
like a
could be
number
my
one hit.
donut daddy, my donut daddy, Eddie. Like, it's absolute ridiculous hyper pop trash. It was really, really fun. I did like a metal one about espresso martinis because I don't like them. So,
What's wrong with you?
nothing.
There is one place I have to take you to.
What's wrong with you?
I have to take you to a place in Marblehead to get like the best espresso martini ever.
I believe you. I trust you.
Oh, good. Thanks.
No one else. But yeah, I did a little fill tune with my dad this morning. Yeah, but I would say the majority of the things that I don't know. I make up shit. I write autobiography. I don't know. I love to write. I just have a really wild mind.
I was about to grab my phone and check out your Instagram, but I realized what Dane said earlier.
Don't be on your phone.
You'd get yelled at again.
You get in trouble.
Well, I can't wait to go check that out because it sounds fun. So next question, you're in Marblehead. Where do you find yourself playing around most? With the band, with the duo?
Yeah.
Where are you performing?
So I play all throughout New England. So we've played up in New Hampshire, up in Maine. We've played all the way down in Rhode Island. Most of our gigs are centered around Boston. So we play Loretta's a lot. We play
Medford Brewing Company.
Yeah, we played Medford Brewing Company. Like all over the place. But primarily kind of Boston metro area.
Okay.
What is your dream place to play?
Oh my God, the Opry, obviously. The Opry. Somebody posted on Facebook, which I'm dating myself by saying Facebook, but whatever. Somebody said, was like, what do you want to manifest like in 2025. And I was like, playing at the Opry, duh. But yeah, I mean, I think, given the history that my grandmother has with the venue and stories that I heard when I was a little girl about all these things that she would go, these artists that she would go and see, and then just seeing that circle on the floor, like I think it would be an amazing experience.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is.
I'd like to see that.
Between
Me
that,
too.
the Ryman, I mean, you have the Bluebird. It's all kinds
Yeah, all those places. Yeah, I'm going down there in February to do something like this, actually. But, you just got to keep chipping away at it and keep working at it.
Is it a podcast out of Nashville?
It is, yeah. It's called Playlisted.
Okay, good. That's
Yeah.
I
Give them a shout
I'd
out.
love to give them a shout.
Yeah.
So Playlisted. Make sure you check it out.
Yep.
Mark?
I think we have another song to here.
We do. This song gives you the chills. I mean, this song is unbelievable. Lord Have Mercy.
I lost my way. Too many bright lights and late nights on Broadway. And I try to find peace, drowning my sorrows in a drink. Lord, have mercy on me. Lord. You gotta start from the beginning, I'm sorry.
I really want the blooper reels, Mark.
Right back on it.
Sorry. Here we go, right.
I lost my way. Too many bright lights and late nights on Broadway. And I try to find peace, drowning my sorrows in drink. Lord, have mercy on me. Lord, have mercy on me. Clothe me in white and cover me in light. Lord, have mercy on me. When my race is run and I meet my Maker above, I won't lie about the things I've done. I'll raise my hands and sing a song. Lord, have mercy on me. Lord, have mercy on me. Clothe me in white and cover me in light. Lord, have mercy on me. Clothe me in white and cover me in light. Lord, have mercy on me.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Took us a while to get there.
Yeah, like
You should
a
speed
monkey
things up
fucking
bit.
a football. He's a monkey. All right, that was Lord Have
Guess who's
Mercy.
the football? Kind of set yourself up on that one.
We can't put that in. That's not with that song. All right.
You just have a way. I can only imagine your audiences are fully engaged and into your performance, because it'd be hard not to. If we were sitting in a venue with a bottle of bourbon in front of me, I would be right here.
Oh, you're speaking
Well,
my
thank you.
language.
When you guys play that, is that one of the crowd favorites?
I think so. I think it is. So we end every single set with it, no matter where we play, whether we're playing on a podcast or whether we're playing in a huge venue or a bar where everybody's really loud and rowdy and nobody's paying attention. Doesn't matter. Every single set we end with that song. And I think, a lot of gigs that we play are really late at night, and we're often the last act to play. And so I think, it's just kind of a nice way to send people off into the night, and just to it's almost like a blessing. I think like musicians, we have like I don't know, without getting like too like existential and cerebral, I think that we have kind of like a responsibility and a, something that, how do I say this? I think that we have a responsibility to like care for the people that are in our presence while we have them. And so, my thinking about ending every set with this song is like, okay, like I'm releasing you from my care. And, wild shit probably happened over the past few hours that we've been together. But, like I'm just kind of releasing you into the night and, go and be safe and make good choices. Better choices than I make, I guess. Yeah, so I think that's kind of the thinking behind that song.
Yeah. It's great that
That's
you
great.
kind of thought that out, to end the night and all that and do that on every show.
It's a
pretty good
different
move.
way to end a set for sure.
Yeah.
Because most people will play like a real up, like rah, 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 like rock and roll, like yeah, like pumped up. It's like the big finale, right? And I don't know. I think I really like having a song that's just a little bit more contemplative, and it just kind of sets the vibe, I guess, for the rest of the night
It
for
works.
people as they're kind of going home on their way. So yeah.
Very good.
So what's up next for you?
What's up next for me? Well, we've got some good gigs that we're working on for the spring, and the fall. Working on. I think I haven't fully decided, but I think I would like to work on a Kickstarter this summer for my upcoming album that I'm working on writing, which has got a big goal. So the budget for the project is probably around 30 to 35 grand. It's expensive to make records these days. So I think I'll be keep your eyes open for that, because I've got some really great songs and some really great talent that I want to showcase. So that. And just more working with some more podcasts and all sorts of good fun stuff. And you never know where you're going to end up at the end of the year.
Isn't that true? Yeah. And Erin, what's on the horizon for you over the next few months?
Oh, well, playing with this one, which I love. I'm very excited for all of those things. And then, more writing for me, and I'm in the planning phases for that Americana Hussy project I mentioned. So it's going to be a lot of work. So I got to organize, who do I want to play on it? What sort of like production model do I want to follow? What's my budget going to be? What kind of fundraiser? Yeah, so I'm in like a planning phase right now.
All right, throw out your Instagram handle again.
At Erin Bonnie Music.
Elisa Smith Music with an
I love
S. Elisa with an S.
Make sure you go, follow, listen, enjoy. There's something else.
They really are. It was great having them in today, Mark.
Fantastic.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank
glad that
you.
Well, we're going to be following along, and we look forward to having you back again when you're out, both your projects, as
Yeah.
they come out.
Thank you.
Come back in, and we'll put them up front and send them out there.